Hello. Okay, so I am here today to show you our Sacred Sensual Goddess signature spread. And this is going to be a spread that you can do using all three decks that we have. Honestly, I feel like you could probably do the entire spread just with the tarot deck, but I'm going to show you how I do it using the three decks. Okay, so with the spread, with the Sacred Sensual Goddess signature spread, we are asking different questions of, let's say, four different energies, four different spaces. So we have our lover girl, we have our shadow priestess, we have our pleasure maven, and we have our goddess self. Okay. So with the lover girl, the question that we are asking is, what is my current desire? What are the things that I crave right now? What is my body craving right now? Okay. So in the tarot deck, remember that we do have body centers, we have affirmations, but you'll be able to see what that looks like. Okay. So what is it that my body desires right now? And I'm using tarot deck. Sorry. Nothing's coming out, y'all. Maybe it's because it's not craving anything. I don't know. I feel good. I knew that I would now. Ooh, just soft without. I feel good. I thought something was. I'm gonna edit this out. It's weird. What does my body crave right now? So this is what I got for what does my body crave right now. This is our Page of Cups. So our Page of Cups, the body center is going to be the heart and the throat. This is actually reflective of a youth and their eroticism. So this doesn't have to be a person that is like an actual, like a minor, right? But it could be that you are tapping into a new space of your eroticism. And it could be that what you're requesting is to be in a new space in eroticism, that you are wanting to have fresh eyes on your exploration, right? Wanting to maybe know more about what your body can do, wanting to act more on desires that maybe have been dormant, and maybe you're in a space that you are ready to, wave your flag, dip your toe, really know what it is, right? So it is possible that what you are desiring right now, Page of Cups, is a good message around eroticism, a new beginning message around eroticism, right? And to learn, like pages are the ones of our tarot deck who are curious and they are there to learn. So I would say this is what that feels like for me in terms of like what my body might desire, maybe something new, maybe expanding my eroticism. And for me, this would be confirmation of being unafraid of allowing that to happen. So the goddess essence is innocence, emotional openness, curiosity about intimacy, right? So this is also an invitation that if you are maybe desiring this thing, right? Are you in a space of emotional openness? Are you receptive to this desire? So we're going to, look to answer the question throughout the spread, but just so you know, again, you could probably answer all the questions that we're going to ask today just with the tarot. All right. So our first one we got was Page of Cups. What do I desire? Something new. All right. So the next question that we're going to be asking is going to be of our Shadow Priestess. And this is going to be talking about like our barriers to our pleasure, to our eroticism. So where am I holding back my own pleasure or power? Where am I holding back my own pleasure or power? Okay. So to answer this question, what I'm going to be utilizing is our Oracle deck. The Oracle deck is going to be filled with one affirmation, mantra, but actual embodiment, right? Looking at maybe a space in our body that is lacking something and looking at like what the barrier is. What are the things that are stopping us from moving into this desire that we have, right? So is there like a barrier or blockage to me exploring new desire, forbidden desire, maybe? I don't know. So, okay. Purple. Ooh. Ooh, look at this. Okay. So for the oracle, what I got was magnetic softness. I attract through ease, not effort. Magnetic softness. Okay. Embodiment. Roll your shoulders back and open your chest. Just going to take it now. Hmm. So if you're doing a spread for yourself and you want to do the embodiment while you're moving through your spread, I would absolutely go ahead and enact that for yourself. Also on the tarot deck, there's always going to be an activation or an embodiment of practice, a sacred practice. So you could do the practices all the way down the line if you want to tap more into that desire that you have. But this is basically what I'm reading from this is if what I'm wanting has a barrier and the barrier maybe is magnetic softness, maybe is that I am efforting more than I'm easing, right? That I'm maybe moving towards something that I can sit back and actually believe that I will receive and allow it to come to me in my softness. It doesn't matter where you are in the space of like esoterics and how you believe or receive what you receive, right? Like take whatever you're going to take from it, and speak on it the way that it feels natural to you. But I've seen enough for myself to be in alignment with this, right? Like I know that when I go in ease and when I'm in a space of like gratitude and very much presence, things come to me very quickly, right? So this is a reminder. So I want to also do a reminder that all of our divination is really like an extension of us, our intuition, and our confirmation for what we maybe feel to be true, but we can embody and know to be true. Okay. All right. So that would be our shadow priestess and looking at what the barriers to my pleasure or my power is. And so, excuse me, our pleasure maven is going to be the one who comes up next in our deck. So the question, excuse me. Okay. So our pleasure maven is going to be the one that comes up next. And the question for our pleasure maven is, how can I invite more softness, more ease, more pleasure, ecstasy into my daily life? And so for us to answer that question, I'm going to go ahead and use our mudra deck. Wow. Okay. So our mudra deck. Okay. So for our mudra deck, we got Janana. Okay. And what this says is the divine consciousness, awakening, divine insight, and awareness. So this is going to be in my pleasure maven space, right? So this is asking me like, what are the things that I need to have in my daily life, in my everyday life, in order for me to remove the barriers. And if the barrier that we're looking at, right, is magnetic softness or being the opposite of magnetic softness, the messaging that I'm getting here from our pleasure maven is to tap more into my divine awareness, right? This is really about getting to your consciousness beyond just your body, your intuitive consciousness. Kind of feeling and understanding that you are, let's say, a spiritual being having a physical experience. And, you know, we may say things like, as above, so below, right? And I think that's also like what's above our head. Like we can think of a halo, but we can think of our spirit. We can think of us. We can think of our energy, our aura, if you just want to put it in that, right? What's your aura looking like right now? And maybe tapping into the things with your aura, with your spirit, with your greater intuitive self. Those things need to be tapped into before you can come back to your body and maybe look at the desires that you want to explore. Because if I am in a space of efforting and not easing, there is some belief, unconscious belief that I have about manifesting the things that I want to have, about maybe even me deserving the type of pleasure that I want to have. Maybe I don't feel that I deserve that particular desire that it is that I have not expanded into, right? And I've been avoiding it, but I need to get to my consciousness, my actual internal, intuitive purple print, so to speak, right? Consciousness in order for me to remove the beliefs so then therefore my body can respond along with it, right? This is basically akin to having a trauma that is connected to the way a person touches you, the way that like the tone of a person's voice, and responding to that experience from that trauma when it happens with another person whose intentions are completely different, right? So maybe there is something that I need to explore a little bit deeper, and this is giving me the invitation to explore that a little bit deeper. So what I want to look at is my goddess self, like what my essence basically is to close this out, what I can kind of look to myself to move me through what it is that I'm now wanting to explore or push against, right? Now that I have an awareness that I have a desire that maybe I haven't been tending to, I have an awareness of the barrier to the desire, and I have an awareness that the key to that is going to be me becoming more conscious of internal barriers, right? What maybe goddess attributes do I line up with? And goddess power do I line up with in order to start to work on this task? And that is what I'm going to pull right now from the tarot. So let me see what I got here. Ooh. We got the Knight of Wands. Okay. So the first thing that I want to look for if I'm going to be looking at my goddess self, and I'm going to do the affirmation too, is the goddess. Is the goddess essence. Okay. So the goddess essence, bold action, fearless pursuit of desire, dynamic energy, erotic trailblazer, want to do something new. What? And what we're talking about with the desire was getting into something new, right? So this is telling me this is your goddess essence. You are a trailblazer. You can do the things that people before you have not done. You are to be fearless. You are to be bold in your eroticism. This is who you embody, who you have permission to embody. So go forth and prosper. Okay. So that was our goddess self. So we went over our lover girl, our shadow priestess, our pleasure maven, and our goddess self using the 3 decks. But I guarantee you, with those 4 questions in the spread, you could probably definitely use just the tarot deck. So that is how a spread is done, that particular spread, but you can obviously do all the different types of spreads that you can think of.